Hey everyone, welcome back to The Road to Superman. This is episode 80, and today we have a really interesting turn of events. Though Gunn said previously that the Superman movie would need no reshoots and has only had a few pickup shots added, it now seems like the recent test screenings may have led to some actual reshoots taking place. Is this something to worry about, or is this normal procedure? Let's find out. So the timeline of these events are a little confusing, but I'll try and explain it best I can. So like I just mentioned, Gunn previously said that the Superman movie won't need reshoots. However, it seems like they may have just had some. Gunn says, "We've done screenings, we've done real screenings, definitely learning stuff all the time, definitely editing and making little changes. You know, we might shoot a couple little tiny things. I used to be kind of against it because you know, you don't want to have to shoot it again, it's a pain in the arse. But as time has gone on and I've made more movies, I really like being able to say, you know what, I wish I had shot a fist hitting that. And so I do tend to go back and pick that kind of stuff up. So it wouldn't be anything major, but those kind of things, yeah, I'll cover you a couple more things like that." So Gunn confirms that they have had test screenings, which means that it now becomes more likely that the murmurings we had from insiders about recent test screenings are more accurate than we originally thought, because now Gunn has confirmed that test screenings have actually happened. And unreliable insider Jeff Snyder previously reported that the first test screenings in December were negative, but the recent test screenings were far more positive. But since then, Gunn has debunked one of his other DC reports about Daniel Radcliffe, and then Snyder has retracted his positive Superman screening report and said that his best source has said the movie is still terrible. Now, whether or not Snyder is bitter that Gunn debunked his other DC reports and so decided to try and criticize Gunn's new movie, I don't know. He does seem pretty upset with Gunn debunking his report, and with his mix of reliability, I would take anything he says with a pinch of salt. And another person we should take a pinch of salt with is John Campea, who has said he has heard the complete opposite to what Snyder has heard. He hears the movie is tremendously good. Now, this is an interesting predicament to be in. Two unreliable sources claiming the complete opposite of one another. And the thing is, both could be true with this news, because they are both reporting opinion-based information. They aren't stating actions the studio is taking based on audiences' reactions to the test screenings, they are just stating opinions from their individual sources, which means these are subjective reports from individuals rather than a general consensus from the audiences who were at the test screenings. Both could be from people who have heard directly from people within the test screenings, but because they are both unreliable sources and are hearing these things from individuals, it's far harder to make a definitive statement on their validity. So I would just take both reports with a pinch of salt. I know those who want the film to be bad will believe the bad news about the film, and the people who want the film to be good will be more likely to believe the good news, but right now, we have no idea, and they're from sources who have been wrong in the past. Now, what I will acknowledge, however, is that Gunn has confirmed that they have or are going to shoot some more things for the movie. He said in that quote that he has been holding test screenings for the movie, learning from feedback and making small changes. And while he used to be against additional photography, he now appreciates the ability to go back and capture minor additional shots if needed. However, he clarifies that these changes are minimal and not major. Now, there is no way on earth Gunn would ever say they are major reshoots, even if they were. As the head of DC and director of the movie, you just wouldn't do that. Studios always state reshoots are routine, no matter the scale of them. So this could be minor, like he said, or they could be major. We don't know for sure, so you either take Gunn's word for it or you don't. But I would say that I think the test screenings have caused this additional shooting or reshoots. We knew they had like half a day of pickup shots a couple of months ago, but it sounds like Gunn is addressing another set of filming since the new test screenings. So maybe some parts of a scene may not have worked for the audiences, or maybe some action scenes weren't as clean as they could have been. He makes the example of not having a shot of a fist hitting something, and maybe that's something he wish he had on this film, and so he's shooting an additional shot or reshooting a certain moment to capture it better than originally filmed. And that's nothing to worry about if it's just that, and it very well could just be that. It could also be far more major than Gunn is letting on, but I imagine we would have heard something from from a more reliable source that major reshoots are going on. So I would say don't panic about this, because as far as we know, they are minor reshoots or additional photography that will hopefully enhance the film and improve the audience's reception of it. And that's what we want, right? We want as good of a movie as possible, and if these new changes improve the film, then I'm all for it. My issues are when films badly reshoot moments and don't give the VFX department enough time to make it look as good as the rest of the movie, and so the reshoots stick out like a sore thumb. I don't think Gunn is doing that anyway, so we shouldn't really start worrying about this. What does slightly concern me, however, is the fact that Gunn went from no, this movie won't need reshoots as we've got everything we need and over-prepared to ensure we won't need to film again, to we are shooting a few more things, only minor, but I'm glad we can do that. That is kind of a 180 from what he said when they wrapped filming, so clearly something minor or major has happened since editing and screening the movie to audiences. It seems like there is something that they don't like or the audience doesn't like that they need to change. I hope Gunn is telling the truth and it is just minor, but I won't deny that the change in stance from him is interesting to say the least. But once again, as I keep on saying, we need to take this with a pinch of salt, and I wouldn't worry about it just yet. Even if it is major, if it improves the film, then great. I don't think there is any current reliable evidence to start worrying. Now, someone else has apparently heard some more things about the test screenings, and yet again, take this with a pinch of salt. They say possible rumors from the Superman test screening. Nicholas Hoult is great as Lex Luthor, CGI is superior to what was in the trailers, some surprise villains, Rachel Brosnahan is funny and adorable as Lois Lane, David's Superman resembles Brandon Routh's Superman, the film's comedy is more spot on and precise, also having emotional moments, and the tone is closer to the first Wonder Woman movie and the first Guardians of the Galaxy film. Now that final comment really confuses me, because I'd say Wonder Woman 1 and Guardians of the Galaxy tonally are very different movies. So saying the film's tone is closer to those two films sounds very strange. It actually sounds like the typical PR Warner Brothers do, where they think of a popular movie from the director's past and a past DC movie that was very popular and they combine them together. And neither of these two overlap. If they had said the tone is a mix of Captain America the First Avenger and Guardians of the Galaxy 1, then that would make sense, as Captain America is a very similar character to Superman, and with this being made by Gunn, the blend with Guardians would make sense too. But Wonder Woman and Guardians just sounds like a really confusing mixed tone to me. Now the rest of what they mentioned sounds really cool, but obviously we've got to take it with a pinch of salt. It doesn't mean much right now, but if they end up being true, then we can take their future reports as more reliable. But right now, sounds cool, hope it's true apart from that last description, but I don't take it as a fact. So now let me know your thoughts on all these reports. Who do you believe and why? Are you worried with these additional pieces of shooting? How minor or major do you think they are? Whatever you think, let me know in the comments below. Now the final update for today is another interesting piece of news. The Wrap states DC Studios taps marketing vet Ricky Strauss to consult on Superman, and to summarize the article, they state Strauss worked in Apple's marketing communications team, collaborating with Apple TV Plus's programming, publicity, and awards teams. Before joining Apple TV Plus, he held leadership roles at Disney, including president of programming for Disney Plus and president of marketing for the Walt Disney Studios. At Disney, he led marketing strategies for major franchises like Star Wars and Marvel, as well as successful films like The Jungle Book, Cinderella, Frozen, and Incredibles 2. So he's done a great job at Disney with promoting their movies, including two major franchises with Star Wars and Marvel, and I reckon that is what got him the job on the Superman movie, because the Apple TV promotion I feel has been poor. I barely know when an Apple TV show comes out, and I only ever really see them when I go on the Apple TV app. Other than that, I barely see it advertised anywhere, but his Marvel and Star Wars credentials are impressive. I do think the Superman team needs help marketing, and to be honest, DC Studios needs help as a whole when it comes to promotion. All four of our first looks at the DC projects coming out have been underwhelming. Not terrible, but nothing special, which I really feel they need to be. And I think the overall promotion and marketing of DC really needs a strong boost, which hopefully Strauss can give them. So I'd say this is good news, and hopefully he gets right to work on helping the Superman team, because there is not long left until this movie comes out. And speaking of promotion, we also need to talk about this image Gunn shared to commemorate it being 1 year since the Superman movie began production. Which is crazy to think about. We were only on episode 11 of The Road to Superman when production began, and now we're on episode 80, and so Gunn shared this photo of Superman standing in the snow to celebrate 1 year since production began. And this is the kind of promotion that I feel can be improved. It's not terrible by any means, but I feel they could have used something far cooler instead to promote the movie. This is the kind of image you'd share whilst you're filming out there and not wanting to reveal what the suit looks like, but still build a bit of excitement. Instead, we have actually had loads of behind the scenes images and a full teaser trailer where we have seen the suit. So just a photo of the feet in the snow is a little below what I think they are capable of. This is the kind of situation where they can really help build more excitement, and whilst this photo isn't terrible at all, I feel he could have used a better image to celebrate 1 year since production began. But it's not the end of the world by any means, and hopefully Strauss can help the Superman team with promotion moving forward. But that is all for today's episode of The Road to Superman. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you never miss an episode. I hope to see you here again soon, so until then, have a great day. Bye!